a universal Georgia is also in. So you listen.
Everybody. Wow. There we go.
There we go. So, but masculinity, what it means to be masculine, and there's also a feminine side. And as I said, when I was growing up, it was really, really difficult because I don't have this father figure that showed me, damn, this means to be a man, right? And I really believe also with my experiences now, with this 4 years of personal development and changed myself completely to the better, with also bullying, etc., and just making out life. It's just a process, and I think also, yes, as you said, just getting things done and pushing yourself. It's a really important. It's a really important thing that boosts your self-confidence also extremely. But then there's also the other part, the feminine part, right? The feminine part is also really important because from there comes the divine, and we will speak about downloads and Brigitta. I don't know if she still there. I don't know. She's also a bit deeper into that stuff, downloads, etc., because more people also speak about downloads, right? So, and this downloads and the feelings we have comes also a bit more from the feminine side. And for a healthy man, I think it's also really important to listen on your feelings. So, yeah.
Bro, listen, look. I never knew my actual birth family, okay? Like, I'm adopted and shit, so all my siblings have different dads and all that stuff. But that's the thing. When people call me or text me about some shit and they're like, they didn't have a father figure in their household. So I'm like, well, you have to be that man. You have to really create and cultivate the man within that you never had all your life. And that's what I've done. I'm 18 years old, right? But I've transcended self-such at a high level because instead of just reading and all of this shit that I've done throughout the years, I've actually implemented it. Because, when you actually implement the knowledge and wisdom that you obtain over the years, then you really start to get to truly change. Because this is the thing, right? And this is what I always say. The alcohols and everything are the most committed. I was addicted to all of this shit at an early age. I got admitted into a psych unit and all this stuff. They wanted to send me to rehab and therapists and whatnot. But the reason why I say that is because I was so committed down that path. That the police officer that arrested me even said, bro, like I never seen any kid do as much as you did at one time, like at once. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just committed, anything I do, I redline it. So that's why when negative people on the negative route switch to a way more positive one, then they already have the commitment and discipline instilled within them. So now they switch over to the positive route, and now they're excelled past the average individual because when they were doing the negative stuff, they were more committed than the average human. So now they just switch to something positive, and now they're committed down there. But everything I've done was always to develop myself towards my future family. And now I'll always imagine me, and I think, isn't she from Spain, right? No?
I'm not Spanish. Definitely not.
Oh. Well, anyway, either way, Spain, I've always envisioned myself having a Spain kid. But you said you was from Spain, Felix. You got it twisted now.
No, I live here. I currently live here, but trust me, I've moved more times than my age. So.
Yeah. So what do you make exactly? Just for listeners also, so in what niche are you? So.
My niche.
Yeah. What are you interested? Where is your expertise in.
Yes, so as you know, I do work in the corporate world, right? I have a foot in the corporate world for now, but I am a divine channel and I'm a light language healer and what you would call like a soul empowerment coach. And actually, you know what, Felix, I'm gonna start teaching meditation, but it's here in Spain, sorry. So yeah, and of course, as you know, I'm an author of the book Becoming Authentically Me, but I have another one coming out on the 1st of April and then another one later this year. So I'm like this eternal gerbil on a treadmill.
Yeah, all right. So we spoke right now about the masculine and the feminine, as you hear. So what is your opinion of that? You listened probably, right? So there is the masculine part and the feminine part, and in today's society, I had also 2 days ago a really interesting interview about that, and it's really difficult because some people see, the masculinity is aggressive or something like that, and but a healthy one is necessary to live, right? And the feminine part, what from your expertise, what is the purpose of the feminine part?
So, you know, people always talk about, the divine feminine, and I always say we've lived in such a masculine era. You know, it's all the go, 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 very much action, very much the logic, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it needs to be balanced. So it's like the yin and yang, but balanced female and the masculine. And that's important because the feminine is the spirituality. And so when you combine these two, you get the balance. And that's very much in layman terms.
In what kind of terms?
Layman terms, in easy building block terms.
Okay. Yeah. So today, for example, I just made my stuff and so, and I made a YouTube video, new YouTube video, and yeah, that wasn't getting that much views, so that I just got my feet, so, and you know, that's also just a thing in the outside, and it just was coming in now, so that's also, I think, the feminine part, when we just go here with the flow and just have a nice conversation, and then it just comes in about what to speak, and then that's right, and that's the feminine part from the divine, comes from the divine, and what I learned now also, be more authentic. And that's funny because you wrote the book on it. So, yeah.
No, I always say authenticity is key because look, people will come in my DMs, right, and they'll ask me for my program, but oh my gosh, their energy is so off, and this is why I don't like normal coaches because, like, my whole thing is authenticity. No matter where I go. There's this dude in my DMs, and I think I even showed Felix the messages, but I don't know, he was just acting all weird, and hell, he was like, let me know that you could trust me. So I was like, send me a picture of you. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm like, and then he's all of a sudden, send me a picture of you. And then I'm like, okay, is that it? And he's like, no, send me a picture of you naked. I'm like, you fucking, bro, it is just the weirdest. Like, I mean, but this is the thing. Some people will still take the money either way. And that's the craziest thing. Like, there's people that all the time come in there, and I mean, change yourself for other people's validation. This is the thing, like normal people out there do not validate themselves on a day-to-day basis with what they do. So if you find validation through, I don't know, I find validation through my body, my mind, my discipline, my habits that are instilled within me, because over the time being, especially at a young age and people, I don't know, like 20s, 30s, even that, still, if your habits and actions aren't aligned to the person that you want to become in the future, then you're violating yourself with everyone else's opinion. You're still insecure and unconfident within yourself. Even at my age, I have more security and confidence than some people out here because my habits and actions are aligned with the person, the future father and the future husband that I want to become. And it's as simple as that. Any negative route that you're going on, if you change your habits and change your mindset, it'll change your life. Through fitness and nutrition. And that's what I specialize in because that's what saved my life, the fitness and nutrition. Every time when I got in trouble with the law, I'd always knew that I had to change my food. I was like, oh shit, I gotta get my diet and workout in check every single time. Because every single time, it always put me back on that path of enlightenment towards the best possible version of myself I could be. So that's like the two main factors, with, like, and any life coach or out there, like, I've always, people say I should be a therapist, but I'm like, in my opinion, as a therapist, magnify the problem, and we actually find a solution through just running right into the problem. And, because most people out here run from their problems through these external sources of vices and validation, like the alcohol and the drinks and stuff. I'm like, fuck no, dude, just seek deep within internally, find the root of the problem, okay, and then we'll create habits and actions that will actually solve it. So you're not constantly running away from what's most telling you. And listen, this is where I'm gonna end it off. So everything, the answer that you're looking for is right on the other side of everything in which you're avoiding to do. So everything that people's avoiding to do, if you just do it more, like I've feared my life so many times on multiple occasions, but the more I ran into that situation and had to face it head on, the less of a burden it got. And the more clarity I found from the situation because I actually ran into. I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that, like because that's my tools I use to solve problems, But I mean, I'd like to hear from you guys' perspective as well, like y'all main things. Maybe hers is like meditation. I need meditation to calm down a lot of times, but but I normally do something like burpees or something that normally gets, it puts you in flow state. And when you get in flow state, you're at that like enlightened level. So you don't really, you look past all the problems that you had at a negative state, like the desires and vices and temptations that you had once before. Stuff like burpees, tracking your food, getting up early, all of that, it just knocks it out the park. So, I mean, like, what are you guys' solutions to certain problems like that?
Maybe the opinion from Universal Light Warrior.
Everyone is different. Everyone is unique. And I will always say this, what works for some does not work for others. I do agree with you on a lot of things, John. Absolutely. And very much in the quantum realm, quantum physics, it's, they say change your thinking, change your life. And people are like, well, oh, wait, is it really that simple? Actually, it is. But, when we come into this world, we get pre-programmed, so to speak. We're raised by our parents, and they've been raised by their parents, and this goes on for generations, of course. So we come into a very conditioned situation. And when we talk about authenticity, many people ask me, well, what does that even mean? Because we've been so conditioned, so societally conditioned that we don't even understand who we are anymore. And I think that's the beauty of life, that through our experiences, through that duality, understanding the polar opposites, light, darkness, morning, evening, the polar opposites, that we get to experience life and that we understand our experiences, that we don't remain in that trapped within that victimhood or within our suffering. and that we get off that couch and do something with it. But it's often very hard when people are stuck in their trauma and stuck within their suffering. It really takes a lot of strength to come out of that deep valley, so to speak. It's almost like you need to hit rock bottom to finally figure out, hey, you know what? I don't want to go on like this anymore. I need to change. And for every person that is different. Some will go see a counselor or a therapist. A counselor didn't work for me. You know, I went the holistic route. And I always say, regardless of the therapies and the modalities that I've studied and how I help people, I say, look, if it's not for you, that's okay. However you decide to heal, do what agrees with your spirit, and that's the most important thing. And by the way, fear is that beta blocker within the mind, right? I always say that's the smooth criminal. It's the Darth Vader to your peeing in your pants, Jedi Master, so to speak, because it's a barrier, but it's an illusion. It's a created illusion. It's a conditioning. It's a pre-programming. When you let go of all the labels you slapped upon your mind, you know, from fear to bitterness to judgment, you name it, all these red O negatives, as I call them, and you heal up, you alchemize your experiences, you go through life thinking, poof, I feel so much better. And you come to a state where you are, every time you are, it's like unbecoming and becoming a better version of yourself. And that just goes on throughout your life. I mean, I'm still becoming, you know. I'm a different person than I was a year ago, 10 years ago, but I'm still learning every single day.
Mm. Yeah, I think learning is on thing and focusing on getting every day, just every day a better version of yourself. Doesn't matter what's going on in your outside. Good night. That good night to my boo-boo. So yeah, doesn't matter what's going what's going on outside. So
Yeah.
when you just have to focus on getting better every day, better version of ourselves every day, then I think it's already a good step in the right direction. Because, yeah, the most of the people don't look in themselves. And for me, as I mentioned also earlier, I just published a YouTube video also, and then I just, I just was in the outside because of the results. I was getting a bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say frustrated, but I just, was getting a bit affected from the result in the outside, and I just make, and I want to prove to myself, hey, I can fucking do that, and then I push myself so hard and so, and this is again the masculine side. So, and then as you spoke in the beginning about it, the balance in the masculine and the feminine.
Yes.
Everyone has it. Everyone has it. So, but to coming out of that situation in the outside, to don't let it come to you. I think it's really important. I always speak from my experiences. So I don't grasp it from a theory. I always talk from my experiences, and I just said, all right, you have to clear your mind now. Doesn't matter what. You just go out, just hit the shit, and then you feel already better because you made something, was getting something done, and I think that's the healthy part from the masculine, right? So, and then when you meditate again, and this was also the reason why I'm now in a better energy, also for the life course here, I'm just in a better energy because I was hitting the gym, and I just was getting the things done, and then I can just give my best and it pushes myself. And I think that is the same feeling that shopping also has. So that you can also come to fitness in a state of mind,
Sure.
not only through meditation and breath work and stuff like that. And I think this is also really, really good. But you have to find your own way. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
How more ways leads to Rome, right? When you know that say this
Yes.
road. So
Yes, there are more ways to roam, and that's why, for some it'll be fitness, it'll be nutrition, but everything. I will say one thing that's really, really important is that we are body, mind, and spirit. So if we suffer physically, for instance, then we mustn't forget the mental and emotional state, because everything is connected. And so sometimes when people just heal physically, but they're not going to heal mentally or emotionally, they're still going to be stuck with the hiccups within themselves. But as far as, meditation works for me, and people say, well, I can't meditate. Well, that's a lot of baloney, because actually, it's all about returning to the breath. And I always say, what, if you're just starting out, just get onto YouTube and listen to David G with a J-I at the end. And he's got like 20 minutes meditations on anxiety, on fear, anything, living in the present, being in the present moment, emotional healing. And it's really, really powerful. I love listening to it. And breath work, absolutely, breath work is so important.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, and I've always wanted to get more into that stuff because I see a lot of people doing it, but and a lot of things that also my mentor talks about. I saw he had joined at one point, Wes Watson. This is what we always talk about. It's like getting in the flow state, because this refers back to what I said earlier, high frequency or low frequency. So there would be times where, let's just say I box, want to go spar or something, and I knew I'd come back bloody up with something, because I was just starting out. So I would always do this. I'd always realize that when I got into a flow state, as in, and I talk about it a lot, but a lot of people don't explain it. It's just basically when, you get your blood oxidation level moving, you get your heart rate up and stuff like that, and you're really in the present moment. You're not realizing time as it passes by. So right before I would go sport, and it's the fear of physically getting harmed, right? So it's a different type of fear, and it would always just get knocked off the park and completely alleviate and get out of my mind, because I was being flow state, I'd be in flow. And like every time when, let's just say, a low frequency emotion arises, I know it's because I'm in a negative state of mind, because I'm in a low frequency. But whenever I'm in a higher one, all the negative shit that was ailing me once before is completely gone. And this is what I tell people all the time. Like, if they're stressed about something or anything like that, like, bro, like, there were so many times where I feared my life. Like, I had to pull something out to save it so my head wouldn't get split open. Like, there's multiple ways that you can, alleviate fear, but the main issue is self-talk and just, intense physical action that really just, like I said, gets your heart rate up and makes you forget about any negative shit that was ailing you in the past, any past regressions or forward projection towards any future anxiety, because you're truly in the present moment. Once we're in the present moment like this, we're not worried about anything that may be ailing us in the future or something that may have ailed us in the past. Because a lot of times what we do with fear and anxiety is we create these negative narratives, negative situations that may not even come into existence, but it is coming into existence within our mind. It's like self-limiting or the imaginary evil, so to call it, And like I said, self-talk, that has been the biggest cornerstone to really alleviating that out of my mindset. Anytime Like, you just have to remember what you've been through before. You know, a lot of people forget that. Like, even my mom, for example, walking into a new job or something, and she's all anxious and stuff. Like, you've been in this game for like 20 years and you're nervous of going into it. And then, you know, she starts hyping her up because, like, you know, like, look at all your past accomplishments and shit like that. And you just got to remember what all you've been through. And just look at this as, you're looking at it as turning it into sort of anger, like turning fear into fire, like Mike likes to say. That's what that quote stems from. Because I'll share this one experience right before my first ever boxing match. I had like 2 panic attacks before there. The doctor was checking my heart pressure. She was like, we're gonna, like, if you show any signs of fatigue, you know, we're gonna stop the fight. And like, bro, you're gonna be fatigued in like the first 30 seconds of an amateur boxing match. You know? So I was like, oh shit. So, I mean, I ended up having completely no anxiety before the fight because I turned it into this rage, like this anger, and it might not be the best for some people, but like I said, for me, and I mean pretty much for everyone, it's not an anger where you want to go out and hurt people, but it's an anger where it's like, I'm not letting this little like situation destroy my internal peace, like state of mind, and you can turn it into fear. And like I said, the self-talk, that's where it stems from, and that's what happened. And then I ended up knocking him out in 9 seconds, but despite that, it all just stems from the self-talk and all of that stuff. Like any little negative situation, or it doesn't even have to be negative. It could be good, but I'll still be anxious for it or something like that. I just say I don't even participate in that shit, you know. And not completely leaving my mind because you can't think your way into like positive action. You really have to act your way into positive thinking. So, you know, I might do some push-ups or something to really get my mind on track. And then I follow it up with self-talk. So that's just my take on that. And the thing about the fitness is, yeah, it's just fitness and nutrition. However, I love tying a greater purpose to it. So instead of, this is just for me, like, no, this is for your future family. So your future wife is going to come see you jiggling through the fucking door all sloppy. Like, you're going to look like a superhero to your kid, you know. And this is a huge thing. Like, you have to create that admirable individual for your future family. You know, it's not just all about you. It's really the body is just a byproduct, like I say, of an unstoppable mindset. You pick up these traits of discipline, self-poise, and all of this stuff throughout the years, months, weeks, whatever, of consistently working through your body. And now you have all of these tools and habits that you can use to better your relationships with people and all of this other stuff. You know, that's why I push my product and my program so much, because it is like that. It's life-changing.
Yeah, I had also earlier we talked about the thing with the pain to transform it into good energy, and this I made earlier, and this has also the law of alchemy. So, and the other thing is, don't make it for yourself, and when you don't make it just for yourself, then this is so powerful. I experience now because, for example, for myself, it pushed me extremely when I know, alright, I make it for the collective. My big why is to raise the consciousness from the collective, right? Because this needs the world right now the most, and also just make it for your family. Damn. So this is so powerful also. And earlier when I was in this low frequency short time, I said, all right, no, that's not me. This is just the outside, and doesn't matter now. I don't give it anymore about the results. Sure, I also give a shit, but I also don't give a shit. So it's a bit paradox. But then I was also going in the gym with this mood there. So damn, I have to come clear. Then I was just going on the bike. I drove 5 kilometers. And then I was hitting the next day. I don't have so much time, but damn, I broke my personal record in minutes. And I just was sitting there. I was sweating as fuck, but I was laughing about it. I just was laughing about it. And the funny thing is also before when I was trying to hit the gym, I listened to the episode from West Boston, from John's mentor, and just alone this one episode again changed a bit my things. Or I things I know already, but you know sometimes you just need the right word. You know.
Yeah, you need to be reminded of it, dude. Like, we all know this wisdom and knowledge, but we just need to be reminded of it. And that's the thing that words and shit like that come from. And yeah, I mean, that's where his videos always told me, because it was compression. You know, there's too much compassion and comfort, so why would you throw somebody more comfort when comfort was the thing that destroyed them in the first place? So that's why I love the compression aspect. Like, I give compression to everybody because that's what's most needed, you know. I mean, if you really love them and care for them, you're not going to lie to them. So, you know, just giving it to them is like the best possible thing you can do. You're doing them a favor when you're calling them out on all of their weaknesses. You're calling them out on their insecurities because you just want them to be better. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And there's either true friends that'll be inspired by it, or there's just negative ones that'll hate on it. But some people you can't really just give everything to them at once, because they do need a little compression at first, say something that's good about them, and then, you know, give them something. But yeah.
Definitely. So,
couple of things. Very interesting. So I always say that the most important relationship to have is with yourself. You know, we are, at our core nature, we are love. That is our divine essence. We've just forgotten it. And that's why we are so messed up. And we're here to return to that love for ourselves and for each other. And by the way, about fear, just briefly backtracking on that. Of course, we know it means false evidence appearing real, but as I always say, it also means either you can fall endlessly or you can arise revolutionary, right? The choice is yours. And another thing, I mean, the mind that we have is the most powerful tool that we have, because what we think, we create, and then, of course, we manifest that into existence. That's how powerful we are. But people don't always realize, because we're energy. We're not just this body. We're the energy within this body, and we're all energy. And what you were talking about the past and, you know, future and living in the present moment. People don't often live in the present moment because they always think about the past, and it's like looking in the rearview mirror and you're not going to see where you're going, or you're grabbing into the future. But to create the future, to create better tomorrows, it's when you manifest something, you've got to visualize it like you already have it, and then just take the steps to get there. And it's powerful. Trust me, it works for me. It works for me. It's not like I want to be, because then you're putting that in the future. And if you keep saying that I want to, I will be, then you keep kicking that can down the road.
That's the fascinating thing with the manifestation, and there we come then also deeper in the spiritual realm. So that goes over the body, but everything is connected, mind, body, soul. And the thing with the manifestation, there's a lot of information out here, so social media, YouTube, etc., etc. You can buy also courses about it, but for me personally, honestly, I don't know always if I make it right, because I can't measure it really, and in some areas of my life I don't have the results I truly desire. So, and sure, in some other areas I have really good success, but in some other areas, you know, results are not there. And then I think also it's important to don't look on that, to don't focus on that, and just pushing forward. So, and that comes also then again the masculinity in it, what helped me now the last time also a lot to just push through it and don't identify myself with that result I got until now in this special area, in this topic. So, and then I said, alright, doesn't matter now, I just I just have to visualize, and do the work, and then eventually it comes.
Yeah, exactly, because focusing on the result is actually a selfish thing. Because you really have to create the person that can attain the result rather than solely focusing on the result itself. Because the result will come, but if we truly get lost in the moment of working towards what we want in the future, then that's when we do become present. And that's where I'm always in the present, because I'm always working towards something in the future. That's why people that struggle with addiction and all of this stuff need something to forward progress them each and every day. So they need to work on a greater purpose in the future, like themselves. So personal development, the working out, working on their bodies, it's all something that's positively working towards yourself for the future. So you're not focused on any external source like alcohol or pills or any of this stuff. This is what helped me cure my addiction. Because I used to throw everything away, but I would always get it back because I had no personal development system and process used at that moment in time when I did throw it away. And, honestly, everything in this life is measured with results. However, like I said in my story, I actually posted a story about this. Don't let anybody's speaking ability wow you into thinking that they have these magnificent results. Because there's a person I know that, he speaks good, but he has no fucking results. It makes me so pissed, because I'm like, dude, you speak, it's like, I'm like, bro, it makes me so mad, I'm sorry. But he's like, I don't know, he talks about all of this stuff, but he does not have any results. And the thing is, people need results in this life to really see and measure, how far you came and what you've overcome. Because,
exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of people talk about, what they went through, and of course, and honestly, this is what I realized, a lot of people have been through a lot of stuff, but it's not that nobody cares, but, it all happened already, and it's really where you're at now, you know what I'm saying? So nobody's going to take, a whole sob story unless you've made something out of it, unless you've made something out of it. And that's the thing that's why I always tell my story. I don't tell it like a sob story. I tell it so people can learn from it, And then, that's just the thing, bro. But yeah, people that have this speaking ability but have no results, oh my gosh. I was just talking about that. But yeah, getting lost in the result and it is selfish, because you just want this, materialized external possession, when really all we're searching for is fulfillment. And whenever we're wanting something like a result, it's really because we're not validating ourselves, and we're not staying 10 feet tall on our process. We're wanting someone else's validation out there. We're wanting someone else to say so, and what we do. So really, like I said, if we truly just stay forth on the path of just strictly working on ourselves and working towards the result and getting because there's this thing where the only reward we need doing something we love is just doing something we love, because we're always in flow doing it. It is rewarding when we do it. We don't even call it work because we're loving it so much. So we're constantly in flow doing it. And then that's the thing, that is the result, that is the reward. But yeah, results is measured in this life, definitely though. If you talk and if you have all these amazing throwing out, then bro, where's the results? That's all people care about. People don't look at your work ethic nowadays, they just look at your results. A lot of the high successful people, especially the mentors and the people that I'm in the coaching groups with, it's well, how much have you made? How rich are you? That's all it comes down to.
Wait, what do you mean? How much have you made?
Money wise,
It's funny because, well, let's talk about money for a second here. money isn't dirty, it's energy. But if there's one thing that I've learned last year, because as Felix does know, I worked myself into the ground. I burnt out pretty much, and I'm never been a quitter. I have continued, I went on, and it's caused me to be out of breath. And actually, earlier this year, I must say as well to you, Felix, you are looking so much better than when we spoke. It's an incredible change within you right now. And I can see you've done a lot of work on yourself, and you continue to do that. So I really take my hat off to you. I just wanted to say that. But I mean, earlier this year, especially the end of last year, I pushed back because I was working about nearly 60 to 70 hours a week, just my corporate, and I still had to do my other work, my therapies, my spiritual work, and it was too much for me. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm allowing myself to be lived rather than actually having that joy within me and living my life and doing the stuff that I love, because that's important. I refuse to be a rat in the sewer system of this created artificial paradigm. You know, we're here to find that joy within ourselves and to follow our passions and to inspire other people, you know, to live better lives and to awaken them and to plant these food for thought seeds, as I call them. And yeah. So anyhow, now I started going back to the gym. Yes, I have a trainer, and yes, I do boxing. I run. I started running again, and I do yoga. And you know, I feel a lot better for it. And I changed my diet as well because my body is important. Our body is a temple, and we should treat it as such, rather than just throwing all this junk and this acid and just, burning it to the ground. It's like, take care of it. You've only got this one body in this one lifetime, even though we live infinite lifetimes. But in this current life, you've got this one body, so take care of it. Listen to what your body needs and just become more aware. Just tune in.
Yeah. So it's always the priorities in life. It's always the priorities and what you want to get from life. What do you want to make out of this life? So there comes then again the goals in the game. So I think it's important that we have goals and that we work also towards them. So these are also results from what John spoke right now. So I think it's the one side to have the goals and pushing towards them. So as don't have goals, it's just living in the moment. You know what I mean? I think I see it. It's important to live in the moment and so.
Sure.
But when you don't get any from the goals you set yourself and don't get this results, that you have to question yourself. What I make wrong, what I get better, and when you don't know exactly what you make wrong, what I want to say with that?
No, I know what you're saying, bro. And the thing is, that's what I always talk about. It's the consistent person that always puts forth the work but never gets any results. You're following the wrong blueprint at that point. There's everybody in my gym that consistently showing up each and every day, but they fail to change their body year after year, month after month, week after week, and usually it's in nutrition. But I don't understand. I never could understood how a person can consistently put forth work, an utmost amount of work towards something that they fail to get a result in. And I just hate that. And he said, your body is a temple. Like I always say, I don't know what everyone believes in, but who cares? Jesus died on the cross for us not to have and live an average existence and to have an average body. And it's just what it is. You know?
Yeah.
So why would you destroy something that's given to you? Tomorrow's not promised. And we're not put on earth to live an average fucking existence. So why don't you just better yourself mentally, physically, to truly create that body, the image of your likeness, so you can inspire anybody else and everyone else around you. You know, and that's the thing. It's also not being so selfish. It's also being selfless too, and realizing that you're inspiring others every single time when you outwardly seek, or when you inwardly work on yourself, and then you create this physique and this mentality that's primed towards success. You're inspiring others when you do that. You know, people are watching, even if you think they're not.
Yeah. So, but that's, for example, this is the body. So this is the one part, and it doesn't matter in which life area. I think it's really important that we set ourselves goals, but then also the right goals. So then that we also differentiate between the external goals and the internal goals, because we can only achieve that goals in the external when we become this person we need to be, right? And that's priorities. It's your priorities. And I spoke also today with a friend of mine. He's not so deep into that stuff as we are, but it's always interesting to talk to this kind of people, and without valuing Einstein once, the people just take that action they take with their consciousness, right? Because everything is consciousness. Everything is energy, and energy is consciousness. And to make decisions based on your consciousness. So,
Correct.
because of that, it's fucking important that we raise our consciousness, that we achieve the things we want to achieve, and that we allow ourselves again to dream again and to create that reality we want to create. And as Brigitta, you said also earlier, the mind is so fucking powerful. The mind is so fucking powerful, and because of that, we have to be careful each fucking day what we think, how we feel, etc., etc. So, and I'm sure that everything that counts, what kind of consciousness we have in do daily, and then it comes also to these different life pillars. So, for example, physical health, emotional health, mental health, finances, spirituality, purpose in life, so etc., etc. And then we can just look on it as we raise our consciousness. And with raising our consciousness, I think we can raise our consciousness when we get more knowledge and wisdom in this different life area, this different life pillar. And then it starts anyway, what is success? So we can say success is earning a lot of money or whatever, or becoming the next Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it doesn't matter what success means for you, but I think success is in every life area. So it doesn't matter what it is with your well-being.
Yes. So there's a lot of aspects there, and yeah, when we talk about consciousness, yes, it's expanding our awareness, but I just want to get back to the goals.
Yes.
You know, and being in the flow. I always say being in the flow of the universe, because what I used to do is I used to put expectations on things. And you can't do that, because the moment you put an expectation on something, it's like you cap that energy. And I've very much learned to be in the flow with the universe. It's like, you know, the universe is your dance partner. And I've often had two left feet. That's why I felt flat on my face. I went through so many traumatic experiences. But, I wouldn't change anything for the world. Whatever I've been through, I wouldn't change it for the world because I wouldn't be who I am today. But, as far as it doesn't matter if you want to have financial success, but I always say, do what you love and you love what you do. But it's also, some people love raising a family, and that's a beautiful thing too. And some people want to, be successful in your field. That's fine too. It's whatever floats your boat. It's whatever aligns with your spirit. Whatever you love doing.
Yeah. And it's also to find out, and that I think is one of the most difficult parts. Find out who you really are, and I think also that this travel goes on and on, so you find yourself always more and more when you really look in yourself.
Yeah.
So, and find always new things out from you and change your character, change this role that you play. Everyone.
Like your time.
Removing the mask, and it's just finding the light within that we've so covered and we're so layered because of our experiences and the conditioning.
Yeah, it just comes down to seeking down in your conscience. Like, people just really focus on that little voice inside and magnified it to its highest potential, which is just solely devoting, like, day-by-day goals and, let's just say, the self-talk that it really dials down to your conscience and helps you listen to it and dissect what it's telling you. Because we just have to have a lot of faith going into it because it's such a little voice inside. But once we truly find it out what it's telling us to do and then we do it, then, it's all up from there. Then we truly find out who we are. When we stop really seeking externally for something and start looking within to solve our problems, that's deep within, because the solution to all of our problems deep within us, are within us. So the moment we really dial down and dig deep within inside, and we find the answers to it, And that's what a lot of this problem is. It's just they seek externally for these solutions that stem within an internal problem, and it never works out. Like I told you, it's finding happiness in the same place you lose it. It never works.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very, very good point. Very good point. Yeah. But you're right. Everything comes from within, and many people seek without. And it's when you search within, yes, you'll find the little breadcrumbs on the outside. Which way to go. That's how I've encountered it. But oh my gosh, I used to run away from myself. God, I was like Usain Bolt, the sprinter, running away from my problems, and it only just accumulated. It just accumulated and accumulated until my back was against the wall.
I think that's some beautiful words to the end. So.
And that's the thing too, we don't even realize time as it passes by. It's in flow state. You're flowing in a good conversation. And that's another thing that I always talk about. And this is what I always say. Every time you're dealing with a problem, it stems internally within yourself. You outwardly seek externally to help someone else out with theirs. So if you're dealing with something, go help someone else out with their problems instead of solely working on yours, solely focusing on yours, and then you'll get helped out in return. And that's what it is. This is what we're doing. We're outwardly giving to everybody else. So we give out positivity, and then we inwardly receive it right back to us. And that's the thing. Every time when I'm going negative, I either do some burpees or I say, get on a call or help somebody else out with something they're struggling with. And it always works. It just comes from flow state to flow state. That's my high now. That's my drug now. Flow state. That enlightenment feeling.
Go within and find your flow state. Yes. So, but I would say the end. So, what do you say? Do you want to say any words
Yeah, so one other thing that I do want to say, yeah, absolutely, be in the flow, be in the flow. Do not step on that garden hose and cause a kink in the cable. But one other thing I will say is that, we're all beautiful teachers of one another. I always say this, we're beautiful reflections of one another. And if someone triggers you, oh my gosh, that's the most beautiful thing. I never thought about it because I was always like, and until I realized, when someone triggered me, it was like, oh my gosh, I need to reevaluate my life. Why is this person triggering me? What do I need to learn from this? And it took me a long time to figure that out, but it's the same with relationships or interpersonal relationships. When someone triggers us, it's like, just reevaluate your life and see why this person has triggered you. But always have gratitude for all of your experiences, regardless of what you may go through. And, come to that place of acceptance in the present moment and forgive yourself and alchemize the pain that you're going through, whatever works for you. And, and then, continue with the next chapter of your life, so to speak.
Yeah, I love that. Didn't know what she said, because something she said was really, I loved it because I always talk about that, is when you regret something that may have ailed you in the past, or when you look at, like, this is the thing, when people, I always say, people's reflection of me is like an reflection of them. So, I mean, like she said, anything that, you're feeling, like, look at those past mistakes as forward progressions towards the future, those opportunities to really grow your character instead of to just using it as an excuse or an outlet to stay comfortable or, get in a victimized mindset over it. So it's all just perspective as well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful. It was guys. Maybe we can make it again. So, yeah, it was beautiful to talk to you. And then
It was, bro. It was different perspectives from different people.
I love it. I think this is powerful. I love you guys, and